Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. My name is Bob Malden. I travel all over the state of Texas looking for hints of Texas' colorful past.
We're standing on sacred ground right here.
Our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're going to find it. There are two very important historic locations in Tyler, Texas that we've always wanted to tour but found them just a little too touristy for the show. Until George Jones, the owner of Jericho Tours, came to us with an idea. Hi folks, Bob Malden here with Expedition Texas. This week we're still going to historic places, but you might notice something a little bit different. We're going at night. Today on Expedition Texas, two historic Civil War era houses in the East Texas area. But something that they have in common is tonight ghost hunts will be happening at both locations. The 2013 Paranormal Conference is taking place at this house. We're going in tonight to join the ghost hunt, and we're going to see some real history inside the house. But we might get a surprise and get to meet some of the people who were here when it happened. How's it going, George?
Going well, Bob. How are you doing?
Doing good. Folks, this is George Jones. He owns Tours of Tyler, and tonight he's here to tell us about the Paranormal Conference that's taking place in several locations across East Texas, and we're here tonight at the Goodman House. Tell us about this historic place.
Well, the Goodman House was built in 1859. At that time, it was a one-story structure built by a Scotsman who called it his Wee Bonny Castle on the hill. It passed through several different hands throughout the Civil War and after, until three generations of the Goodman family owned the house, the last being Sally Goodman, who didn't have any children that lived. So she willed it to the city, and she passed away in 1939, and from 1940 until now, in some way or another, it has been part of the City of Tyler Museum project.
Is there any reason to believe that the Goodman House might be haunted?
There's quite a few reasons to believe. One of the curators who actually lived in the house while he was doing restoration, he would get in the house and go to sleep and start hearing noises like the tinkling of glass and laughter and music and dancing, like something was going on downstairs. He would come downstairs to check and he wouldn't see anything. There'd be nothing here. So one night he comes downstairs when this starts, and he sees a man coming up the stairs dressed in turn-of-the-century attire, and the man stops. He's got a wine glass in his hand, and he looks at him and says, "Why don't you join the party?" and then disappears in front of him.
That's creepy, folks.
So that's just one of the stories about this house.
I always say we're gonna find it. I'm hoping we don't find it this time.
Let's do it.
Actually, for the sake of the ghost tour, I hope we do find it.
I hope we find it.
We're gonna find it. Let's go check it out. George's idea was to go in with a ghost hunting team and tour the places in the dark and see if we might find some historical figures that are still lurking there. It's a little bit different for this show to be doing something like that, but we decided to go ahead and give it a try, and we started off our night at the Goodman House just north of downtown Tyler. These guys were serious. They were there with all sorts of equipment. They had video equipment set up. The house was being filmed from top to bottom, and we were there along with ghost hunters who were calling up some of these spirits who were possibly still lingering around the house.
Is anybody here that would like to talk to us?
When the lights went off and the equipment came on, I almost lost my cameraman because it got a little creepy when they started trying to talk to the ghosts.
Can you tell you your name? Can you tell us why you're still here?
That light in the attic is on.
We're with Jericho's Tours of Tyler, touring two historic Tyler locations, but we're doing it in the dark and with ghost hunters. We've started off at the Goodman House, north of downtown Tyler. The house dates back to the 1850s, pre-Civil War, and it's rumored that ghosts are lurking in the hallways. We went upstairs with our guide, and he was looking around trying to talk to the ghosts and get them to answer.
I'd just like to know what your name is and why you're still here. Are you going to show yourself? You going to make a sound, or are you just going to hide and be a coward?
I'm like, what? Is that the right thing to be doing? You know, telling them they're a coward for not coming out and talking to us?
Etta isn't a coward. Etta's just shy.
It sounded like you asked if the spirit was a coward.
Yes.
Were you trying to make it mad?
I'm trying to agitate it.
Okay.
To make it, sometimes you can agitate it.
Is that a good idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Sometimes it is if you do it the right way. You don't want to say certain words because you don't know who you're messing with.
Well, coward's pretty strong.
It's strong, but it's not a strong word.
Okay.
It would just upset them, and they might then come and touch me. It might move something. It might slam a door. It might do something like that, and that's about it.
Okay.
Other than that, it's not really doing a whole lot to it. Just trying to make it mad a little bit, and that's it.
Not rile it up.
Yeah, just make it riled up, and that's it.
Okay. I trust you.
I ain't gonna do no harm to nobody. Now, if y'all wasn't here, it'd be a different story. I will get it really on to them.
Really?
Yes.
So you'd be really demanding.
No, you don't want to say that word.
Oh, sorry. I said it.
No, that's the one word you do not say.
No, demand.
Yes, no, you want to just show itself. You keep saying show itself, but you never want to say the D word, because that's a wrong thing to do.
Okay. No demand.
Right.
So, I said it again. I'm sorry.
She wanted where she.
What's this right here?
I have no idea. That's nuts. No, nothing.
Looks like a dog or something.
They had a dog and a cat.
They did?
They did. They loved animals. If there's spirits, then the numbers will go up. If there's somebody around, then those numbers will go up, and that shows the temperature. And usually, if there's somebody that is here and they're present, then sometimes that will go down. The temperature will go down, and sometimes you'll feel it.
Okay.
So, but I haven't gotten any readings yet.
Okay.
But another lady has got the feeling, you know, that somebody's here. So.
Okay. I'm gonna see where they are. They're down here somewhere. It's a mirror. It was just my reflection. That was me. I'm a little jumpy.
Are we ready to take a little break?
Today we're at two historic and reportedly haunted locations in Tyler, Texas, with a group of ghost hunters on a tour from Jericho Tours of Tyler. We've just visited the Goodman House north of downtown Tyler, and now it's time to see Rosewood Plantation. After we finished up at the Goodman House, it was time to take off and head over to the Rosewood Plantation, which was actually a working plantation in East Texas near the Redland area. They had slave quarters, they had a chapel, they had the big house there, they raised cotton, and the house is still there, and the ghost hunters were going to check it out. George, here we are, man, Rosewood Plantation.
Absolutely.
I must have driven by here 100,000 times in my life, and I've never actually been up to the place. It's a beautiful plantation. It's been here in East Texas since, I guess, Early 1800s?
That's right, 1850s actually.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
So here at the plantation, there have been some sightings, some activities, and things like that, and the group is actually here taking some measurements right now, right?
That's correct, that's correct.
So what are we going to do here?
Well, let me tell you, back during the Civil War,
Okay.
one of the ladies that lived here had, her man was in the Civil War, and he didn't make it back, okay? Or she
Okay.
didn't think he made it back. And she killed herself in that upstairs room, right there on the left. From
Wow.
that point forward, she's been seen looking out that window and with lights wandering through the house looking for him. The sad part is, about a week after she killed herself, he came home.
You're kidding.
No. So it's quite a tragedy.
What are some of the other things that you can find now when you go in and with all of the equipment?
Well, with the EMF readers, they've been telling us that they've been detecting spikes, meaning that there's electromagnetic energy spikes happening in the house, which is a sign.
All right.
We're not alone. They've also captured cold spots and some interesting pictures of orbs and different light anomalies that shouldn't really happen, especially since it's in the dark.
Can you take us in there and see it?
I can.
Let's go check
All
it
right.
out, man.
This is my investigator, Megan Townsend,
Okay.
and she's the one that actually saw the apparition.
So you saw something in here where we're standing right now,
Yes,
right?
sir, I
Randy?
did.
Okay, so where was it? Kind of give me the layout here.
Setting up DVR. I was right here trying to get the cord set up.
Okay.
I asked Brandy a question, and I turned around and I thought I saw an investigator turn and go up the stairs, and I heard her footsteps. I saw red hair. Our investigator was right here. I saw black. Our investigator was actually in the other room across from the staircase. I didn't know that at the time.
So come over here and kind of show us the area where you thought you saw something.
I saw a woman with red hair, black, turn here and go upstairs, and I heard footsteps go all the way up while I was standing over there.
Okay, and where was the other investigator? The one
She was in this room here.
over here.
Yes, sir. And I thought she'd gone upstairs to set up a DVR camera.
So the whole time you're thinking that was her going up the stairs, and
Yes,
she's
sir.
actually over here.
And so it was quite a while later, whenever I realized it was never her, and we realized that DVR camera was not connected.
Really? So
Yes.
what's up here now?
Up here we
Can we
have
see up here?
we have DVR cameras, and this one was not connected. And I thought that was who had come up here.
Okay. Now, is this the... Now, I may be turned around since I'm in the house, but
Okay.
I seem to recall George telling us from downstairs that there was a room where a woman committed suicide.
Yes, sir. This is it. The pink room.
And so, have you ever seen anything in this room?
I haven't seen anything in here.
Okay.
I felt an overwhelming sensation to cry. Another investigator felt the need to kneel and pray as if maybe that's what the woman had done. As if she had kneeled down and prayed.
Well, it's definitely different seeing it all at night. I'm not seeing it near as much as you are. Because you have the benefit of night vision, but
This is what investigators do. We hang out in the dark.
hang out in the dark.
We hang out in the dark.
Okay, so what is it about the dark that having it dark in a place you're investigating? What is it about that is there a reason for it? Does it help? What does it do? What's
To
the
me,
reason?
it helps. It changes the ambience of the room.
Okay.
When the lights are on, we can still feel things, and we can still get EVP and pictures and things, but something about the dark, it just, maybe because there's no electricity flowing, it takes energy from us, it takes energy from our equipment. It seems to manifest better in the dark.
Do you feel like maybe the light being off maybe hones your concentration in
Yes.
on certain things?
Yes, they say that if you lose a sense, other senses get stronger.
Right.
If you can't see, other senses are getting stronger. Your hearing, your ability to feel, touch, different things are getting stronger.
It certainly promotes giving you the heebie-jeebies. George introduced us to the owner of the house. The owner had something to tell us about that was on the property that we weren't going to believe was in East Texas. I had to see what that was. Today we're at two historic and reportedly haunted locations in Tyler, Texas, with a group of ghost hunters on a tour from Jericho Tours of Tyler. After we finished up at the Goodman House, it was time to take off and head over to the Rosewood Plantation. George introduced us to the owner of the house. The owner had something to tell us about that was on the property that we weren't going to believe was in East Texas. I had to see what that was.
Bob, I want to introduce you here to Tim West.
Hi, Tim.
Owner of Rosewood Plantation.
Hi,
Hey,
Bob. How are you?
beautiful place.
Thank you.
Beautiful place. And a little bit of activity out here tonight too, right?
Absolutely.
A little more than normal.
Yeah.
Normally not out this time of night, but it's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Yeah, it's cool to have everything going on out here. We had a chance to see inside the actual house itself, the main house. We've gotten to see the chapel and the slave house, and there's more out here. I know there's cabins and other things out here, but I'm ready to see more.
Well, let me tell you something, Bob.
Okay.
There's something on this property that's going to blow your mind. You would not believe it was here in East Texas, and Tim's going to show you.
Really?
Absolutely.
I've got to see this.
Well, let's go.
We're going to see more.
It's the big green barn.
With the best kept secret in East Texas.
Best kept secret in East Texas. All right.
Yeah, something that.
Is this going to scare me?
Absolutely. In a good way.
Okay.
It's something you won't see anywhere else in East Texas.
Okay.
Let me go get a light on, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Anticipation's a killer.
Yeah, anticipation's a killer. He's going to go in and turn the light on, and then he's going to come back and get us. So we're going to have to wait out here. See what
I'd
the big
let you
surprise
guess for a
is.
couple of days to figure it
No
out.
fair peeking.
No peeking. All right. Sorry.
What you're going to see in here is a painting. It's an exact duplicate of Da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper. It's 15 feet tall, 28 feet wide, oil on canvas. It's really awesome. So,
Oh.
come on in.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
This painting is an exact duplicate of Da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper. It was painted by two Greek artists, and it took them 2 years to paint it.
Wow.
And after they finished it, they shipped the canvas to the Tyler Museum of Art and stored it there until this building was built. And then one of the artists, a man named Goslin, came out and installed it, and it's just stretched over a wood frame, very similar to what you do in your own home.
George and his team are always putting together fantastic events for Tyler and East Texas. The Paranormal Conference was just one of those. They have the Rose City Comic-Con. They have a writers conference. Some big things that are coming up to the East Texas area that you can check out by visiting their website, toursoftyler.com. And of course, we'd like to thank George for taking us around and showing us around Tyler and letting us be a part of the Paranormal Conference in 2013.